So we figured out that Margaret is the squid in our system. She's from my timeline, so I'll have to take her back when I get there. But we still don't have an answer to the moving derelict ships, right?
Yeah, I still have no idea. I was talking to our tech marine and he hasn't a clue. Even he's concerned with it. The arcing charges are a major concern, especially given there's no sign of the ships having engine or power remaining. They're totally dead.
That's definitely a source of worry. No power, dead engines, absolutely no life, and even the ships with no power source at all. There's absolutely no reason that this should even be happening. How are your gravity sensors? Is there a source of pull to that ring?
I've actually been looking into that. There's a weird sort of reading, not on the gravity guides or interplanetary mapping, but instead on my own recalibrated dimensional readers. It looks like the center of the rings might be a sort of singularity, not to be confused with a black hole, as this thing looks like the universe is collapsing in on itself and twisting into something else.
I feel like I should ask how the hell you're able to get this information from... Is that a Game Boy Advanced?
Was one. I was cloned to be a homunculus, remember? Tech is in my nature.
Right, why do I keep forgetting that? Margaret says she actually came out of that point and was slammed into this galleon. So maybe it is a connection to our time, but we need to figure out how, and I could use it to get back home. Actually, it makes sense that Josh, or the Emperor, told me to find this watch fortress now. But we should probably get back into this review. Iron Kingdoms. This is a game from 2004 by... Wait, Privateer Press? Hey, we talked about these guys twice. Once for the Monster Apocalypse game, and once for... I think it was some TV production-based game? Can't quite recall. I do have a habit of throwing the memories out of my brain window as soon as I finish editing this video. But this looks like it's to be a D20 system. Given 2004, I'm willing to bet more similar to 3.5 D&D than the current state of affairs. This book says there's 5 steps to character creation, which starts pretty late. Character creation starts on page 105. Yeah, the starting chapters are about the world, which I feel should be in the back of the book, not the beginning, but that's a minor preference. Steps are as follows: character's race, character's archetype, 2 careers, character's stats, and finishing touches. Honestly, sounds simple, but let's get into the detail of each. Race gives a various stat changes, including starting stats, archetypes available, as there are a race lock system, languages available, sizes, and a few other bonuses or negatives to each character. There are 7 races, and a pretty standard number for the first edition of a game. No real harm here. I'll be going over each race quickly and putting a screenshot from the book, which looks to be a photocopy, so I apologize. I'll also show their starting stat graph with each one, but I need to go over the stats real quick. There's physical, agility, and intelligence, with subgroups of speed and strength for physical, prowess and poise for agility, and arcane and perception for intelligence. The chart and the explanation portion right before this puts things in an odd order. I feel like poise and speed should be in the opposite sections, but whatever. So the races are as follows: humans, dwarves, gobbers, Iosan, Nis, Ogryn, and Trollkin. Looks like humans and dwarves are obvious. Gobbers are, well, goblins. Iosin and Nis are elf variations. Ogrun are your orcs. And what the unholy hell are the Trollkins? Okay. So, each race is locked to so many options for archetypes, which looks like a class system kind of, and some race and class combos are locked to careers, though archetypes are also locked to certain careers too, and remember that you'll choose 2 careers. I'll give a quick rundown as to what each archetype is, but they each have some restrictions, abilities, and more depth further into the books, which we're not going to go into. Gifted look to be your magic men, intellectuals look to be your buffers and crafters, might is obviously brute forcers, and skilled is your roguelike. These have a lot of little things, most of which are options between X, Y, and Z. Some fit better into some careers than others. Looks like you'll choose 2 careers and there's 28 options. There's a giant ass chart for it too that makes absolutely no sense while looking at it. Some careers can only be taken by certain races or classes or only at character creation. I think each of these will give boosts to abilities, skills, and something called connections, and some equipment too. The game also says if you want to customize a little bit, replace one thing with another, and the writer can't stop you. I say this too in tune in, so that's... Anywho, quick slam of the list now. Alchemist, you make bottles. Arcane Mechanic, you make golems. Arcanist, you make magics. Aristocrat, you make allies. Bounty Hunter, you make money. Cutthroat, you make enemies. Duelist, you make corpses. Explorer, you make discoveries. Fellcaller, you make noise. Field Mechanic, you make robots. Gun Mage, you make targets. Highwayman, you make crime. Investigator, you make answers. Iron Fang, you make war. Knight, you make honor. Mage Hunter, you make heretics die. Man-at-Arms, you make preparations. Military Officer, you make authority. Pirate, you make missing people. Pistolier, you make mundane targets. Priest, you make faith. Ranger, you make Texas. Rifleman, you make Chuck Connors. Soldier, you make orders followed. Sorcerer, you make magic used. Spy, you make secrets. Stormblade, you make magic melee. Thief, you make pockets empty. Trencher, you make World War I warfare. And Warcaster, you make war crimes. Now, it looks like you have 3 advancement points to spend after all this shit is done. You can put them into stats or stat categories, and each stat costs 1 point. Now, at this point, you'll fill out character's life spiral, and I have absolutely no idea what the hell it means. I think it just maxes out certain progress points, which I want to point out that the race already has maxes to those, so I don't know. Now, the final step, finishing touches. You'll buy gear, fill out your roleplay sections, including the connections factions, which have their own requirements and benefits from them. Now, if this game starts at certain level categories, you'll advance through the game, gain experience, and spend those points on different bonuses. Hero essentially being the quick experience, veteran middle, and epic the dear god I hate myself. Now, looking over all this, it is a D20 system, so I think it's pretty simple in how it works. You roll a d20, add the basic number to it, highest one wins. There's also skills, which there are 3 subcategories, and they're a lot of numbers. Military skills, occupational skills, and general skills. So, scoring time. I don't love this game. It's overly complex for something that ultimately is a simple system. There's a lot to keep track of while only having a weird minimum of choices. I gotta give this game a 85%. This game is primarily a tactical based game, which I know a lot of players won't really want to use or try to use. Seriously, the Pathfinder games are very tactical too, and people don't want to play the Brawler or the Vanguard. Now, Dean Steeler, come on, we've got an experiment to run with Margaret for that ship ring thing.
Shove off.